carols everywhere. But strip away the tinsel. What's the real story? What if the Bible hid explosive clues about Jesus' birth centuries before Bethlehem? Not vague ideas. Pinpoint prophecies that nail the virgin, the town, even the massacre of babies. Today we're exposing them. These aren't coincidences. They're proof God orchestrated Christmas down to the detail. Stay till the end. The last one hits like a thunderbolt. Let's go all the way back. Back to the very beginning of the story. In the Garden of Eden, everything was perfect. Lush greens, crystal rivers, Adam and Eve walking freely with God. Then came the fall. The serpent deceives them. They eat the forbidden fruit. Sin enters the world like a shadow. God confronts the serpent. He pronounces judgment, but right there, in the middle of the curse, he drops the very first promise of hope. Listen to Genesis 3:15. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. This single verse is the earliest hint of the Messiah. Scholars call it the Proto-Evangelium, the first gospel. Notice something unusual. It speaks of the seed of the woman. In ancient culture, lineage always traced through the man. Seed comes from the father. But here, God points to the woman's offspring alone. Why? Because this future victor would have no human father. A virgin birth, whispered thousands of years early. The promise continues. This offspring will crush the serpent's head, a fatal blow to Satan, even while his own heel is struck. Victory through suffering. The cross casts its shadow all the way back to Eden. Fast forward to Bethlehem. Jesus is born of the Virgin Mary. He lives perfectly, dies on the cross, bruised for us, then rises, crushing Satan's power forever. The very first messianic prophecy, spoken in a garden of sorrow, finds its perfect fulfillment in a manger of hope. Christmas didn't start in Bethlehem. It started here, in God's unbreakable promise to rescue us. Let's jump forward 700 years before Christ. Judah trembles. Assyrian armies loom on the horizon. King Ahaz panics, facing enemies ready to crush Jerusalem. In that dark hour, God sends Isaiah. The prophet offers any sign, anything, to prove divine protection. Ahaz refuses, so God declares it himself. Isaiah 7:14. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Emmanuel, God with us, not distant, not abstract. God stepping into human skin. Skeptics today say virgin just means young woman, but the Hebrew almas points to purity. Jewish translators into Greek chose Parthenos, virgin, centuries before Jesus. Matthew quotes it directly. Mary, betrothed but untouched, conceives by the Holy Spirit. In a quiet Nazareth home, life sparks where none should be. God doesn't send a messenger. He comes himself, wrapped in flesh, breathing our air. Isaiah doesn't stop at the virgin birth. He pushes further into breathtaking territory. Isaiah 9:6-7. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Pause there. A child, born like any baby, is given titles that belong to God alone. Wonderful Counselor, the one who knows every heart, gives perfect wisdom. Mighty God, the warrior who never loses. Everlasting Father, eternal protector beyond time. Prince of Peace, the one who ends every war forever. A human infant wrapped in strips of cloth, yet divine, fully man, fully God. This isn't just a king on David's throne. He's the eternal ruler whose kingdom knows no end. Christmas isn't announcing an ordinary birth. It's declaring the arrival of the King of Kings. Let's step back to the prophet Micah. He writes around 700 BC, same era as Isaiah, when Judah feels the Assyrian threat breathing down its neck. God speaks through him with pinpoint precision about the Messiah's birthplace. Micah 5:2. But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times. Think about it. Not mighty Jerusalem with its towering walls and temple. Bethlehem, tiny, overlooked, David's quiet hometown. Yet from this small place rises the ruler whose beginnings stretch back to eternity. Centuries later, wise men arrive in Jerusalem asking about the newborn king. Herod panics. He summons the priests. They open the scrolls and quote Micah 5:2 exactly. They know the answer, Bethlehem. Mary and Joseph travel there. Jesus is born, right on target. Not chance. Divine GPS. Let's move into shadow now. Jeremiah writes this around 600 BC, during Judah's final days before Babylonian exile. The people face destruction, families torn apart, hope fading. In the midst of that grief, God speaks through Jeremiah a piercing lament. Jeremiah 31:15. A voice is heard in Ramah, mourning and great weeping, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, symbolizes Israel's mothers. Ramah, a town near Bethlehem, becomes the place of sorrow in exile. Matthew sees this verse fulfilled centuries later. Herod, paranoid about a rival king, orders the slaughter of every boy under 2 in Bethlehem and its vicinity. Innocent lives lost. Mother's cries echo through the night. The prophecy's pain resurfaces in real time. God didn't cause the evil. He foretold it. He warned of the darkness that would try to snuff out the light. Christmas came at a cost. The manger wasn't free from suffering. God knew, and he came anyway. Now the story widens. Balaam, a flawed prophet hired to curse Israel, can't help himself. God turns his words into blessing. Numbers 24:17. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob. A scepter will rise out of Israel. A star. A royal scepter. Centuries before the manger, the promise shines in the night sky. Wise men from the east spot it. They follow, camels plodding across deserts, guided straight to Jesus. Then Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. Herod's rage forces Joseph to flee with Mary and the child. They hide in Egypt. When danger passes, they return. Word for word. Even the gifts carry weight. Gold crowns a king. Frankincense honors a priest. Myrrh prepares a body for burial. King, priest, sacrifice. The wise men unknowingly proclaim the full story of Christ in one offering. Step back and consider the sheer improbability. One person fulfilling not just 1 or 2 prophecies, but dozens, specific interlocking details spread across centuries. Virgin birth, born in tiny Bethlehem, called out of Egypt. Escape from a child massacre in Bethlehem, descended from David's line. The list goes on. Mathematicians and statisticians have crunched these numbers. Peter Stoner, in his classic study, calculated the odds for just 8 prophecies at 1 in 10 to the 17th power. To grasp that, imagine Texas blanketed in silver dollars 2 feet deep. Mark one coin. Blindfold someone. Let them walk across the state and pick it up on the first try. That's the scale. And we're talking far more than 8 prophecies here. These aren't vague horoscopes or lucky guesses. They scream intentional design. God didn't leave Christmas to chance. He shouted the details centuries ahead. The manger was never random. It stands as the long-awaited climax of promises that began in Eden's garden and wove through every prophet's voice. Jesus arrived exactly as scripted, born to crush the serpent's head, to be God with us in our broken world, to rule forever on David's throne. He didn't come as a distant king demanding worship from afar. He stepped into the mess, our pain, our questions, our ordinary days. This Christmas isn't just lights and traditions. It's living proof. God keeps every promise He makes. He entered history to rescue us, not because we deserved it, but because love demanded it. So when you look at the manger this year, see the faithfulness, see the cost, see the gift. What prophecy blew your mind most? Virgin birth? Bethlehem? Comment below. I reply to all. If this reignited your wonder, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're uncovering more. Joseph next, then Moses, all shadows of Christ. Share this with someone scrolling past the real meaning today. Jesus is the gift the Old Testament wrapped for us. Merry Christmas. God with us.